This morning's guest runs for the Red Cross. She's a rescue racer. Meet her, coming up next on Carolina People. Good morning. Welcome to Carolina People and Merry Christmas. This morning we're at Sassy Girl on 4th Avenue in the Blackwater Market in Conway, South Carolina. We're focused on the Red Cross Rescue Racers and today's 19th annual Christmas Day dinner to be held at 3 area churches. And we're visiting with a dedicated board member of the Coastal South Carolina chapter of the American Red Cross and someone out on Christmas morning, Susan Mungo. Good morning, Susan.
Good morning, Merry Christmas.
Wearing your beautiful red, which highlights, I guess, both Christmas today and the Red Cross.
Exactly.
The Rescue Racers. And, of course, the big Christmas Day dinner today.
Yes, which should be wonderful.
A big day, and it is. The cost is...
It's free.
It's free.
There is no cost.
Free to everyone.
A free meal.
Anyone to get out. And, of course, the big First Presbyterian Church, I think, from 1 to 4. I'm looking down at this Blaine Methodist down in Blaine United Methodist Church in Merle's Inlet. From 1 to 3.
That one's from 1 to 3.
And then there's another church, I believe, they've opened up there in Andrews this year.
Trinity United Methodist Church in Andrews.
Okay.
And that one is also from 1 to 3.
Fantastic, yes. And this is something that's been around, the 19th annual, to think of that, a commitment. And, of course, Janice Ash Saliano and her daughter and their whole family.
They work hard and do this every year.
Right, right. Well, we had Angela Nicholas with us a couple of weeks ago filming from the Pampas Drive address of the Coastal South Carolina chapter. She aired on that Wednesday promoting an event that was less than 2 weeks away, and now we're here today. It's the day of, which is very exciting.
Feed people on Christmas Day.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And, of course, Vicki opened up the shop. Have you been in here before, Susan?
Yes, it's quite a place to shop and find some really unique things.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see that smile. You've done that before. You've done that before.
Absolutely.
Real quick about yourself, Susan. Are you originally from the area?
Yes, I am. A native of Horry County.
Is that right?
That's right.
A native of Horry County. And how about the Conway area? Do you know this area at all?
Yes, I have lived in Conway for about 20 years. I grew up in North Myrtle Beach, but moved to Conway in my early 20s and call it home, my husband and I, and our yellow lab, Harley. We call this home.
Yes. I've heard you talk about Harley. You must have had Harley for a while.
We've had him for 10 years. He's our only child, and we've had him for 10 years.
Yes, Susan. Well, I remember filming 3 or 4 years ago. We were at the Herald Studios on the former Air Force Base.
Right.
Promoting, I think, the Heart Association, the Heart Walk at that time. And I believe you're with Santee Cooper, and I think I remember you talking about being one of 4 girls.
That's right. I have 3 sisters.
So your sisters have probably been in here before as well. Yeah.
A couple of them at least, probably, yes.
Yes. Well, thank you again for coming out on Christmas Day. And, of course, the Red Cross Rescue Racers. This is coming up soon.
Yes, February the 16th.
February the 16th, okay.
It is the Myrtle Beach Marathon. That is when we are going to run the marathon, the half marathon, or walk the marathon or the half marathon.
Some folks will be walking the 13.1 or 26.2 miles as well.
That's correct.
It's a long walk.
Yes. And they have been training hard.
To walk 26.2 miles, I bet they have.
You don't just go out and do that.
Yeah.
It does take training.
For even fast walkers, how long would something like that take, a full marathon?
Well, you know, everybody does have their own pace.
Right.
But a lot of our walkers are doing a little over 4 miles in an hour. So.
Wow. So that would take, I'm not great with math, but that sounds like 8.5 hours.
Yeah, and actually they close the marathon, I believe, after 8 hours.
Right.
But I think that all of our participants will make it. All of them aren't doing the total 26.2.
Right, sure.
Some of them are doing the half.
13.1 is great. Absolutely. That's a big commitment. So that would take them 3.5 hours.
Right.
Or a little more than that. That's tremendous. Yeah, I didn't do my math well on the first one. It's probably 6.5 hours and 3.25 or 3.5 on this, which is wonderful. What's the history behind the Red Cross Rescue Racers, Susan?
Well, the Red Cross has been a participant with the Myrtle Beach Marathon for years on a volunteer basis. They have supported the marathon with volunteers and providing water and first aid. But the folks who found the marathon came to Angela and said, we think that, the Red Cross can be a little more involved. And they talked to her about actually making the first official training team for the Myrtle Beach Marathon and have it benefit the local Red Cross, the South Carolina chapter of the local Red Cross. And Angela was not at the time a runner. I don't think at the time she was a walker, but she is now.
Oh, wow.
And,
putting her on the spot on Christmas Day, yeah.
She and I are friends, and we do local theater together, and we were in a production at the time, and she said, you know, is this something that maybe you would consider helping me with? And I had become a board member, and she said, I'd really like for you to take this on.
Right.
And I was more than happy to, because running's a passion for me, so I was very excited about the concept. And we came up with a name for the group, and we sort of patterned it after things like the Team in Training or other teams that you see that actually raise money for events. But this is totally local. All of our participants are local. And we have provided training for them. Coaches from the Grand Strand Running Club have been provided for them.
Great.
We've had some guest speakers who have come to talk to our group about things like the kind of shoes to wear, what things can help you, like massage, chiropractic, nutrition, all kinds of things that you really need to know as you really move into the fitness arena and try to become, you know, involved and more fit and do it the right way. And that was really the concept that we wanted with this Red Cross Rescue Racers. We want to help people reach fitness goals, but do it the right way.
And that's not always something we think about with the Red Cross. Of course, having Angela a couple of weeks ago, we're thinking about, obviously, hurricanes, thinking about fires and fire victims in Horry, Georgetown, and Williamsburg counties. You're not oftentimes thinking about the stuff you think about, let's say, with the March of Dimes, for instance, and their Walk America, or the Heart Association, the Heart Walk. This is a new tack, but obviously a very important one.
Well, you know, the Red Cross is always about preparing for anything, and safety and first aid as well.
Oh, yes, of course, forgive me, that's right,
so,
like the mannequin.
Yes, and well, they also have PET CPR now.
Is that
which
right?
Is,
PET CPR?
From what I understand, is really
taken off.
Yes.
Well, that's
you know,
great.
If anything goes wrong, you want to know what to do and
if
do
Harley
it the
was
proper
having
way.
a heart attack or
I'd want
drowning,
to know how to handle that. You're right.
Absolutely, that's great.
So, you know, we took it from that aspect. We wanted to provide more than just, you know, let's go out and walk or run for this group.
Right.
And it's been very successful. We have, to date, 14 participants.
Right, good, okay.
And like I said, some of them are running, some of them are walking, and some of them are doing the half, and some of them are doing the full marathon.
Right.
But it's based on what they felt was best for them.
Right.
And their training is individual. We do have group meetings on Sunday afternoons where we try to walk or run together.
Great.
But otherwise, during the week, they train on their own.
Golly, Susan, this is tremendous.
It's been wonderful. It really has. As a way for them to give back for this, we have asked each participant to raise $500.
A minimum of $500.
A minimum of $500, and that money will go to do the work that the Coastal South Carolina chapter of the Red Cross does in this area. All of the money stays local, and for fire families and you know, first aid, the other things, disaster recovery that the Red Cross does in this area. So everything is staying local. The Myrtle Beach Marathon is local.
Right, sure is. It's the 10th annual this year, the 10th annual, big deal.
The team that morning will be the first training team ever for the Myrtle Beach Marathon, and so we're excited about being the first too.
Absolutely.
Now we don't plan to be the first for long. We do hope that this could maybe spread to other chapters of the Red Cross.
There's
as
a lot
way.
of chapters and a lot of marathons in those chapter communities. That's
other
a great
cities
idea.
that have their own marathons, and we feel that not only would it be a way for the Red Cross to reach out and again help people become fit in a safe and effective manner, but yet also benefit the local chapter of the Red Cross.
Well, obviously, being Christmas Day, a lot of folks probably, even though they'd love to sit here and watch the two of us, they may need to get into presents or otherwise. We hope we can keep them here another 15 minutes, but let's say they've got to go now, get in. Of course, Santa's been there and rummaging around their house. What's a good phone number if someone wants to learn more? Is it the 477-0020 number, the Red Coastal South Carolina chapter of the American Red Cross?
Exactly.
That's the best number, 477-0020. We've got a good 7 weeks before the marathon. Is it still far enough away that folks should get involved now?
You know, actually, if somebody has been somewhat active, you know, it's not necessarily too late.
Okay, good.
But if you have not ever planned to walk or run and you have not been involved, what we would recommend is that you come and talk to us, and we'll be glad to, show you the training program and let you see, where you are, and maybe, we're not going to discourage anyone from doing this. We just want to make sure they don't hurt themselves in the process.
And the Red Cross would still be supportive of folks just being out there, helping to raise $500, helping to push those numbers to have a bigger team. So with 7 weeks out.
Absolutely.
And of course, with a lot of physically fit folks, not that they're sitting at home today exercising, but physically fit for most parts of the year, they may be capable of doing the 13.1 miles out
Especially
there.
walking it, exactly.
Sure, walking it out there. That's right. So now you'll be running. Angela, what will she be doing?
She'll be walking.
She's one. Okay, that's right. And of course, is your hubby in the crew?
He is. He is running the half marathon.
Is that right? Good. Okay.
And I have one of my sisters is on the team as well. She'll be walking the half.
Right, right. And of course, this is, as you said, very novel. The opportunity to expand into other areas is really viable.
Yes.
Being a first time out. As we think about for you, Susan, was there anything early on that got you interested in exercise and running and staying fit? Was it just that, staying in shape? Or and of course, I want to talk for a minute, if you don't mind, sharing about the experiences up in the Charlotte area. I believe something that happened on the an Avon event, I believe, even though it's separate from the Red Cross, to highlight, obviously this is not new to you.
Right. I have always enjoyed being active and working on being fit, and it's constant work.
Sure,
the older we get, the more work it takes.
Oh, yeah, don't say it. It's Christmas, don't you? Yeah, no.
But, I'd walked. I'd always been a walker, and I always kind of wanted to run.
Yeah.
But I would start out thinking that I needed to, just take off running and not stop, and it can be very frustrating if you don't know how to train for that. And I finally got help from someone in Orlando, Florida. I was at a conference, and he was one of the instructors, and he gave me some tips on how to actually get into running, that I couldn't do it. I couldn't just go out and become a runner, that I had to do it gradually.
Right, good.
And he started me on a program, and I can remember the first time I ran a mile without stopping. I was so thrilled.
Yeah, yeah.
And now
those are the kind of baby steps you have to take.
Exactly. Yeah. That is the way you need to do it for your overall actual fitness and wellness.
Right.
I can tell you don't want to become injured, and that's easy to do.
Oh, yeah.
But along the way, I started increasing my run. I ran. The first time I participated in the Myrtle Beach Marathon, it was as a member of a relay team, which was a lot of fun.
And that is what, 4 or 5 people normally?
That's normally 5 people. Each person runs 5 miles, except for the last person that takes up the 6.2 to finish it.
Right.
And that was a lot of fun, but then I got the bug, and the next year I did the half, and loved it. And so I battled with breast cancer after that, and in my recovery, while I was battling that, the doctors all told me how beneficial it was for me to be physically fit going into it, that it was very helpful in battling what I had to do. And so coming out of it, I said, I'm going to remain fit. I want to continue to do something.
Right.
And I sent a little note to a friend of mine, one of my best friends at work, and it was the Avon Walk for Breast Cancer.
Right. Was it in Charlotte?
It was in Charlotte.
Okay.
It's a 2-day event. The first day you walk a marathon. The second day you walk a half marathon.
Wow.
And I said, does this sound like fun or like a nightmare? And I think she thought it sounded like a nightmare, but she agreed to do it with me. I did. And
did y'all stay in tents or something, or was it out there, or was it?
Yeah.
It was a lot outdoors. I remember seeing some stuff about it, of course, reading about it. I think the Ouray Independent covered it. The Herald may have even covered it. I remember it was a lot of fanfare, obviously, about that, even though it's a very serious issue, breast cancer, and just the ideas of raising funds, but just like the Red Cross needs funds, obviously, Avon and other groups that need funds as well.
But after doing that, and she and I did make that, and we had to sleep in a tent between the marathon and the half marathon.
Yeah.
But after doing that, I said, I think I can push myself a little further.
Right.
So I had another friend who was a runner. My friend Margaret, who did the Avon Breast Cancer Walk, was a walker.
Right,
but I had another friend who was a runner, and I said, let's see if we can't do a marathon. And so we decided our first marathon, we would do the Disney Marathon. The timing worked out. It's in January.
Yeah.
And we trained together. We live in separate towns, but what we did, we used the same training program.
Right.
And we would call each other after long runs and talk about how it went. And we got together for our 2 longest runs before the marathon, and went to Disney and did that marathon. And felt great and had
Really?
a great time.
Not just totally worn out. I mean,
No.
just 26.2 miles.
And, you know, there's a point in that 26.2 when
Yeah.
you think, I can't take another step, but you do. You just do. And then when you get to the finish line, it's an amazing feeling.
Right.
And that's what I've been trying to tell the Red Cross Rescue Racers.
Yeah.
They will be so proud of their accomplishment.
Whether they go just 13.1 or the full
Absolutely,
thing, obviously
because
they'll be over.
13.1 is a huge accomplishment.
That's insane. Yeah.
That's
crazy.
right.
Yeah.
And it's just it's an overwhelming feeling.
Right.
And
Right.
it's something you yourself have done. You know, you have taken yourself in hand, and this is something you've accomplished.
Mm-hmm.
After that marathon, I came back and I battled breast cancer for the second time.
Oh boy, Susan.
Beat it again, and again, because of my physical fitness, it helped me through my recovery. And so I didn't want to stop, and it was a battle back.
Right.
But last year I did the half at the Myrtle Beach Marathon.
Great. Yes. The 9th annual.
So I decided that this year I wanted to try to do the whole marathon. If I was going to do another one, I needed to do the Myrtle Beach
Right.
Marathon. So that is how I got to deciding which distance I wanted to try to do this year.
And you've really got it. We've got another 7 weeks. Today's 12/25, Christmas Day.
Right.
The run is on. Is it February 16th?
16th.
February 16th. So a lot of folks, you really got a good, solid 7 weeks to get ready.
That's
Now,
right.
And of course, you've run a marathon one other time. How many of the group of 14 now? And there still could be more.
Right.
How many of the folks are going to go the entire 26.2 miles?
I think we have 4.
Okay, great. Is Angela one of them?
Angela's going to do the 13.1.
Oh, that's right. You mentioned that earlier, which is tremendous. Absolutely. I wish we'd known this when we interviewed her a couple weeks ago. That would have been great to talk about.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that would have been great to talk about.
Because she's doing great with her training.
I bet.
Yes, she is, and she's come a long way.
Oh, yeah.
And I think she's finally getting excited about it.
That's great. That's great. You've got a big sponsor, I know. I think I saw on the list of all the different pieces here. I think Withers Preserve stepping up to the plate, very exciting as presenting sponsor, and someone
Absolutely.
else, maybe Carrabba's.
Carrabba's is our food sponsor.
Great.
Yes, they have
Good.
come on and done some in-kind sponsoring for
Pasta.
us. Right, they're gonna cater
out the
our
pasta, yeah.
our party the night before the race. That's right, they're
bet.
gonna carve us up.
Yeah.
And they've taken care of us. We have had a couple of group meetings where we've gotten together to talk about fundraising ideas.
Good.
And they've taken care of us then too. Wonderful people, wonderful food. And we're very excited to have them. And with Withers Preserve, we've been training out at the. We meet at the Red Cross building, which is on
Drive,
right,
yeah. Very easy to
which
find.
is on Withers Preserve. And so we just thought it was such a natural fit to have them be our presenting sponsor. And
a great idea.
when we went to talk to them, they were just automatically right on board. They've been wonderful from the start.
Good.
And so we're just happy to have that
So
partnership.
they'll be on T-shirts with the Red Cross Rescue Racers, or otherwise there'll be a big Withers Preserve on there. Of course, Carrabba's and.
We will have all of our runners and walkers wear the same thing that day. And
Good.
Withers Preserve will be the other name other than the Red Cross Rescue Racers
Right.
that will be on our clothing.
Oh, good. Yeah.
We are looking at something that runners or walkers could wear in any kind of weather. And so we're not exactly giving our secret away
Oh,
yet
yeah,
as
no
to what
secrets,
we'll be wearing.
right? It's Christmas Day. There have been a lot of secrets today. We got about 5 minutes, and of course, secrets are something we think about, but at the same time, what the big secret that we got to make sure folks know about if they're just thinking about it today, the big Christmas Day dinners. Christmas
Absolutely.
Day dinners, and you said earlier, they're free for everyone. First Presbyterian Church is at 1 to 4,
Right.
1300 North Kings Highway, real easy to find, and I think the other two churches, both 1 to 3, Blaine
Blaine.
United Methodist Church down in Merle's Inlet, and of course, you mentioned Trinity United Methodist
Andrews.
Church in Andrews. So folks can just show up there. If they know if they're there at 1 o'clock at any of the 3 locations, they'll be on time. If they're there at 2,
Absolutely.
and even if they're coming in right at the tail end at 3 o'clock, they need to get out there today to one of these 3 churches. And of course, for a lot of folks, even though it's a free event, they may want to come out there if they can help donate or do anything, help provide a little assistance, or even provide after the fact if they didn't know about the event before today. If there's some way to support the American Red Cross, the funds are needed, Susan.
Absolutely, those
They're really
opportunities are always there.
Mm-hmm.
So if you need a good hot meal today, or if you just want to be with some other people sharing the Christmas spirit, I would say come out.
Absolutely. I think Angela had mentioned that folks can drop off jackets as well. Jackets would be nice
The coat
jackets.
drop
The
off,
coat
right.
drop off. That's a good opportunity. So even if you've eaten a good meal, you and your family come out and drop off some jackets, and I'm sure there's probably still some children or otherwise who'd love some toys. If you got too many toys, later on today, you can come by and drop them off at one of those 3 locations, or always coming by the Pampas Drive address.
Good way for anyone to really get into the spirit of what today is all about.
Absolutely, Susan. You know, and you mentioned that you and Angela do some acting together. Is that right over behind us at the Theater of the Republic, or is that somewhere else?
That is right behind us
right
at the
here.
Theater of the
Yes,
Republic. That is
yes.
actually where she and I met.
You all met there, yeah.
And we just became good friends, and it's been a wonderful friendship.
What got you into acting, Susan?
That's another story, but
yeah, you got a couple of minutes. Yeah, it's Christmas Day. We want to take it easy.
Actually, they were doing the Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Oh, well, let's not repeat that on Carolina people here. Yeah, you said the Best Little Whorehouse.
As the marquee said, the Best Little Whoa.
Oh, whoa,
It was WH,
yeah,
yes.
in Texas, yeah.
And they were looking for some girls.
Oh, wow.
So Angela and I showed up.
Oh, my God, and some other people, yeah. So cross my legs here, yeah.
Lucky enough to get a spot. And let me tell you, that was just a wonderful, wonderful event.
Yeah. I heard about that.
It was a wonderful cast.
Right.
We instantly became family. And it opened a door for me. I have done other theater productions, and just love every time I get an opportunity to be in local theater. Some wonderful talent in this area.
Absolutely.
The Theater of the Republic does an incredible job with every production that they put on.
Yes, we interviewed a gal from Earl's Inlet not long ago, Laura Flint, who I think comes over here to perform every once in a while.
She's
loves
one in a
it.
million.
Chuck and Diane Devon Stokes. Chuck
Right.
Stokes is with us next week, and he'll be on the show next week. And of course, the first week of the year, and hearing him and Diane talk about events. And Theater of the Republic here in Conway is really a place folks travel from miles around. Many of the shows are sold out all the time. It's kind of like the FPC concert series, just selling out in advance. Conway's really a hot spot.
If you've missed a production, you have missed something. I tell you, and you don't want to. They are really every production that comes out of that theater is really superb.
We just got a couple of minutes. For 7 weeks out, if there's still folks who'd be interested to expand your team of 14 up a little bit, what are some of the things they need to have? They need to be physically fit already. Can they still join? Is there anything they can do, anything a viewer can do now to be involved with the Red Cross Rescue Racers?
There are ways you can be involved. You can come and join if you already have a fitness level. And what we would do, we will set you up with the coaches that are from the Grand Strand Running Club, and let them assess where you are and what goal you can reach between now and the marathon.
Okay,
and they are on board with us, and they have been so helpful. Another way that you can help if you do not want to actively walk or run is to support one of the walkers or the runners. You know, we are all still out there raising money for the Red Cross, and it is for the Red Cross, the local chapter of the Red Cross, and all of the funds stay local. So if you wanted to help by making a donation, you can simply call the Red Cross. If you do not know a particular walker or runner that you want to support, you can just call and make a general donation to the Red Cross Rescue Racers.
Or put it in Susan Mungo's name.
You could do that.
Absolutely. Or Ren, or any number of folks. Probably even put it in Harley's name.
Oh, yeah. We will take your donation at the Red Cross, no matter who you want to support.
Absolutely. And that's a very good point for folks who aren't as mobile, who may not be able to get out and be part of the team, or even who want to begin preparing for next year, the 2009 race in February of 2009, when they're celebrating the 11th one, to begin getting ready now for a marathon. You could prepare as long as a year, I'm sure.
Oh, yes.
Probably even a lot longer than that.
Well, and you know, the longer you do this, for me, the more I think you come to love it.
Right.
So the sooner you start, the better.
Yeah. The driving motivation for you, Susan, other than introducing folks to fitness and introducing them to running or even walking fast or walking at all, the driving push for you for the Red Cross Rescue Racers, was it to kick off something new? Was it to kick off something or anything else there? You
know, I love being a part of seeing other people reach their goals. And this is such a personal goal for people, and it's so exciting to see that, you know, as we've gone longer distances through our training, you can see people when they get to the end of that long walk or run, and they're like, gosh, I did it. And that is just such a great feeling to be a part of something like that, where you see people actually reaching goals and being so excited about what they've accomplished. It's just a wonderful feeling.
That's great. Congratulations and Merry Christmas again, Susan.
Merry
Thanks
Christmas.
so much for being with us. I'm sure
And
this...
we'll take you on the team, Greg.
Oh, yeah. I couldn't get fit in 18 weeks. Stay tuned to more Carolina People with Susan Mungo with the Coastal South Carolina chapter of the American Red Cross and the Red Cross Rescue Racers. Coming up next. You know, you want to rap with a ho-ho-ho, but it's not all about ho-ho-hos. We're talking about serious stuff. We're talking about serious stuff. Hurricanes, fire victims, you know, CPR. Even you heard Susan talk about pet CPR. There's lots of things that can be done that really impact a lot of lives, and a lot of folks are impacted by the American Red Cross, whether it's the Coastal South Carolina chapter or chapters all over the country. The Red Cross Rescue Racer is a new thing. It's just getting started right here in February. You can be a part of it. You can be a part whether you make a donation or whether you're physically fit and can get out there and walk 13 miles, or possibly if you've been preparing for the marathon but didn't even know about the ability to help out the Red Cross in this way, you can still be involved. You can just wear a Red Cross Rescue Racers t-shirt with Withers Preserve on there, the big sponsor there, and of course Carrabba's really wrapping it around. If you're not interested in marathons at all, you just want to support the American Red Cross, you want to get out here on Christmas Day, you can get out to one of these three churches, either First Presbyterian Church from 1 to 4 down at 1300 North Kings Highway, Blaine United Methodist Church from 1 to 3 in Murrells Inlet, or Trinity United Methodist Church over in Andrews. Get out there today. It's a special day. Bring an extra jacket if you got one in the closet or you got a new one, or you maybe got one today and don't necessarily need it. Give it to somebody who really does need it. The American Red Cross is stepping out every day. 477-0020 or coastalscarc.org. Go online, and Merry Christmas.